Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners meeting August 9th, 2023 for 9 a.m. We'll call this meeting to order. If you have any cell phones or any other electronic devices, please silence those for the duration of the meeting. If you will, please stand for the invocation as well as the pledge of allegiance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let us pray. Father, we just thank you for this day, Lord. We thank you for all these blessings that you have bestowed on us personally as well as this county, Lord. I pray that you just be with Board of Commissioners this morning as they take up the business of the county, Lord. We are really thankful for the two we are honoring today, celebrating their 100th birthday, Lord. We just lift them up to you as well as their families. Again, just be with us during this meeting. In Christ's name I pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Next item is to adopt the agenda, but we do have something under new business. Item number 7, we need to remove. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda with the removal of item number 7 under new business? So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item is presentation. Item number 1, we're just confirming a recognition proclamation for Contavious Caldwell Pope, national sports hero who was in Greenville, Georgia this past Saturday. They did a parade for him. The mayor of Greenville was nice enough to present the proclamations to Mr. Caldwell for recognition of the county. We'll move to item number 2, proclamation to honor Ms. Maggie Norris on her 100th birthday. All right, a proclamation to honor Maggie Norris on her 100th birthday. Whereas Maggie Norris is a longtime resident of Meriwether County, residing on Appleton Road. Her home is located down the road from the original home place where she lived with her parents and siblings. And whereas Maggie Norris is the daughter of the late Virgil Norris and the late Hattie Gooden Norris, she has one sister, Miss Rosie Lee Godfrey, and one brother, Mr. Benny Lee Norris, who passed away. And whereas Miss Maggie Norris has one child, a son named Paul. And whereas growing up, her family were farmers, and like most everyone from the era, she spent many years working in the fields and helping her parents. Later, she worked in DeKalb County, Georgia as a babysitter. And whereas Miss Maggie Norris lived in Atlanta, Georgia for 30 years, she also had an opportunity to live in Washington, D.C. with her aunt. Miss Norris said it was too cold there, so she headed back to the warmer climate she had previously left behind in central Georgia. For many years, Miss Norris would pick up her niece and the two of them would take off for an enjoyable car ride to the north and south sections of Georgia. And whereas Maggie Norris is an active lifelong member of the Shiloh Baptist Church in Alvaton, and whereas Miss Maggie Norris has seen many changes throughout her 100 years, she has enjoyed cooking, especially baking cakes. She also enjoyed sewing when she was younger. And whereas Miss Maggie Norris says the secret to a long life is to work hard. And now it be proclaimed by the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners to honor Miss Maggie Norris in the celebration of her 100th birthday. And be it proclaimed that the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners does hereby extend their best wishes to Miss Maggie Norris for her continued happiness.
If you don't mind, I'll add to that. I went by and saw Miss Maggie Norris, and she's inspiration to talk to. She's a little slow getting around. She wanted to be here this morning. She asked me yesterday. She said, "Can y'all make it later in the day?" I said, "Unfortunately, our meetings are at 9 o'clock." But she's sharp as a tack. I mean, she knows, her memory's great. She can tell you things. She can write things down. And she even told me she lives in a house that her father had passed on to her. He was a sharecropper over in Alberton Road area back in the day. And so the house, the house at the old farmhouse, she told me, she goes, "I'm gonna need a new house here pretty soon. I'll call you." And I said, "Well, you do that." But bless her heart, she wanted to be here this morning. She was so excited that we're honoring her. She said she can't wait to see it in the paper. So it brought some joy to her life, and I'm proud to be part of that.
And if you'll take this to her and get.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Photo and we'll get it in the paper. I'll share it with. All right, so we have another proclamation to honor Georgia Lee Colton Snelling on her 100th birthday. And we have the honor and privilege of having her and her family here with us today. So if you will bear with me to read this proclamation, we'll go again. A proclamation to honor Georgia Lee Colton Snelling on her 100th birthday. Whereas Georgia Lee Colton Snelling was born in the Zion Hill community of Meriwether County to the late Luella McLaughlin and the late George Tenney on July 28, 1923. And whereas Georgia Lee Colton Snelling was raised and attended school in the Zion Hill community, she is a lifelong member of the Zion Hill Baptist Church. Whereas Georgia Lee Colton Snelling met and married the love of her life, Oliver Snelling Sr., they were blessed with 12 children, and sadly, 2 of the children passed away at birth. Unfortunately, Mr. Snelling passed away at the age of 31, and she was left alone to care for and raise the 10 children. She worked as a young woman farming and producing farm products and babysitting to support her family. She remained faithful to her true love and never dated again. Whereas Georgia Lee Colton Snelling has a deep love for her family, which includes her children, James R. Snelling, Beatrice Reeves, Ella Mae Thrash, who is deceased, Oliver Snelling Jr., deceased, Arvis Snelling, deceased, Willeen Snelling, deceased, Earlene Harris, Willie C. Snelling, E.C. Snelling, Sarah Lee Snelling, and 2 siblings that passed away at birth, 60 grandchildren, 180 great-grandchildren, and at the last count, there were 210 great-great-grandchildren and 5 great-great-great-grandchildren, and still counting through their 6 generations. And whereas Georgia Lee Colton Snelling enjoys singing gospel music, which must run in the family since her great-grandson is the Grammy-nominated Jontavius Willis, she enjoys working in the yard, especially in her flower garden, and fishing. For many years, she cooked a big Sunday dinner for her family, where everyone enjoyed a wonderful meal and fellowship with one another. And whereas Georgia Lee Colton Snelling stated her advice and words to live by or to treat people right, be kind, be happy and not sad, because things will get better. Spread joy and lift up those around you. And now it be proclaimed by the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners to honor Miss Georgia Lee Colton Snelling in the celebration of her 100th birthday. And be it proclaimed further that the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners does hereby extend their best wishes to Miss Georgia Lee Colton Snelling for her continued happiness.
We're gonna bring the board of commissioners over, we're gonna do photographs of Miss Georgia and her family, so,
We're proud of everybody here on the hill. How are you? You doing okay? Yeah. All right, we're gonna push you right over here and take some pictures, so you'll be in the paper. Okay? Everybody, yeah, we're saying that about. All right.
It's still into it. Eighteen. Yeah. Good.
Ready?
Must be insane if they think so much. Talk about family routine and Easter egg. We have a lot of money. Yeah.
You go to congratulations. I hope I make it there. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Great.
Good to see you. Yes, I will.
All right, we'll move on to our next, and that's the finance report, Mr. Bill.
Yes, Mr. Chair, before I do, I'd like to bring up John Wilson. Monday was his first day, he's gonna be the new finance director when I get hired. We're really excited about bringing him on board, he's, brings a wealth of experience and knowledge to the county. He served in the city of America down in Sumter County for 5 years. Most recently, he was at the city of Phoenix City, so he's excited when this job opening came up, so get out of home now. He lived down in
We don't blame you.
Box Springs. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir, Box Springs.
He thinks it's in Marion County. It's kind of on the border between Marion and Towson. So we're really happy to bring him on board. John, if you want to just sit between there and
Welcome aboard and thank you.
Sounds great. I got some friends down in Box Springs, Georgia. So, yeah, I know where that's at.
Couldn't get this chair if he was tired, so. You got the finance report in front of you. I won't spend a lot of time on it. The bill still remains pretty strong. And we're glad to see that. I've got the other, distributions for long supply, computer supply down at the bottom. And that's all I really have unless you have any questions.
Any commissioners have any questions? Before we move to the next part for citizen comment, and so that I don't forget, Ashley, I think you have someone you want to introduce. Come on up.
I'm really excited to introduce someone. I've been working in the extension office for a year and 4 months all by myself. But I do get to see Danny and the firemen quite often. This is Jonathan Strickland. He is our new ag agent in the Meriwether County Extension Office. He has a background in horticulture. He came from Pike Nurseries over in Fayette County. He was a manager over there. He graduated from ABAC and he was involved in every single organization you could be involved in. And I think he was the president of half of them. So I'm very excited. He's been here a week. So I think that means he'll stay here a long time. And he's local. He's not from Meriwether County, but he's just on the Troup County, Meriwether County line. So that's exciting for me. But we're gonna leave right now because our boss from Athens is coming down to spend the day with him. But I'll bring him to more commissioner meetings, and we've already been to a cattle farm yesterday, and so we're ready. So just
Welcome aboard.
everyone
Nice to
welcome
meet you.
Jonathan.
We hope you stay longer than the last two.
I will, absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
All right, next item is citizen comment, and we have Mr. John McFarland. Mr. McFarland, if you'll come up to the podium. Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be here with you fine folks. I've been a resident of Meriwether County off and on 49 years. My mother was born and raised within a mile and a half where I live. And that's the reason I bought property on that particular road. Bill Todd Road's where I live. And I was a police officer in the metropolitan Atlanta area for 30 years. I served 4 years in 82nd Airborne Division. 15 months and 3 days in age, I got hurt real bad. Came home and went in law enforcement and got hurt some more. But anyway, the reason I'm here today, I want to say thank you for the way you're operating and running our government in Meriwether County. I am a news nut. My wife criticized me all the time about watching too much news, but when I left Asia, I remember my sergeant told me, he said, stay alert, watch the news, so I've pretty well done that. But the reason I'm here is I worked for Public Works when I retired from law enforcement for 3 years and moved on to other things later. Being retired doesn't mean you don't still have to work some, so I don't know how I had time to work. But I had called Mr. King and asked him to check our road, Bill Todd Road, and he came out and checked the road, and just a couple days later, we had 2 motor graders show up. They did an excellent job. Now, if I hadn't worked in Public Works for 3 years, covered about every road in Meriwether County one time or another, I wouldn't have noticed so much. They did an excellent, perfect job, and I'm extremely happy with it. I know the inclement weather has been rough on the county with trees falling and the roads washing out. But thank you for the manner in which you're running our government. We need folks like you in higher offices in the nation. Right now, we're hurting. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Mr. King.
I appreciate it, and it's a workmanship of the whole board. We're all focusing on what the county needs. We're all got our minds together to get y'all's road straightened out. So it's a teamwork, team effort. And I passed your voicemail that you said on to Barry Lucas and the Public Works, let them know that they got a positive thing instead of always negative. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, well, also, I think I mentioned, and I'm serious about it, I'm not begging you to raise taxes, but if you did, I'd appreciate what the road department's doing. Because we have 500 miles of dirt road in this county.
Yes, we do.
And I know it's a big job, but again, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. McFarland. Stay safe.
Good day.
Yes, sir.
Next is Ms. Marcel Womack. Ms. Womack?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody have their coffee?
At 5 o'clock.
Oh, Lord. I always read from my notes because I always get sidetracked, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go with it. I'd like to start off by introducing myself to those of you who may not know who I am. My name is Marcel Womack. I'm here with my husband, Mike Womack, this morning. We have been residents of Meriwether County for well over a decade now. And throughout our time here, we've had the pleasure of getting to know many of the wonderful people that live throughout Meriwether, other business owners, politicians such as yourselves, as well as our neighbors that have become in many situations like family. Sorry about that, I lost my spot. You know, we're located right there in the heart of the Beulah Evans community. I personally started the project, Pay Beulah Evans Road endeavor over 2.5 years ago, having absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into. I now have a much clearer understanding of what our county commissioners, administration, and legal must deal with when it comes to road projects in our county. It's not easy, it's long and tedious work that often our citizens do not clearly understand. Being in public service is often a thankless job, but we do it because we care for our citizens and community to no avail. With that being said, not only would I like to thank our past board members and administration for all their hard work in assisting me through the process, I would also like to thank in advance our current Board of Commissioners and administration for any and all assistance needed in the completion of this project. Thank you for your time. Oh, and by the way, Gene, we need it great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you should set all that on our Meriwether Facebook page when they're all going, oh, they're not gonna do this, they're not gonna do that, they're just a good old boys and all that. I don't know if you saw that, but I had to straighten one something out, so.
Jim, I said that to you. I didn't know that we could talk that before, but
Oh,
Yeah, no.
You're not supposed to during.
I'm giving the commissioner comment. I can do that. It's up to the boss man right here to let you speak back. But yes, I have the right to make a comment.
But we
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say
try to follow through.
that. Yeah, no, I see some of the comments and it's crazy.
They just don't have a clue. That's why I'm glad you pointed that out. It's a process. All I did was told them it's on schedule. Please bear with us. It's thank you for all your work you did.
All that she does. All right, so we don't have the other individual here.
No, she has not come, I'm sorry.
We had an individual, and I do respect this lady a lot. She had written a handwritten letter to the Board of Commissioners, Ms. Sue Ann Reed from Mount Pilgrim Road. She couldn't be here, so I will take this time to read this letter that she wrote. Dated August 4th, 2023 to the Board of Commissioners, road repair after damage. The community thanks the commissioners for the great results that was done for the road on Mount Pilgrim. The past months, a logging company came in and destroyed parts of the paved road. I myself repeated it to Chairman Threadgill. The company came out and got marked portions that was needing repaired. It has been at least 3 months. Nothing has been done. Please look into the matter if it's not too much to ask, and I do believe I passed that on. She says speeding. Now, Sue Ann Reed, the community leader, requesting speed bumps to be installed on the road. Cars have really made it a racing strip. Concerned about the safety of others. If it's possible, please consider taking the request to the board, and she would appreciate it. And we did pave Mount Pilgrim Road. The community was extremely happy with it. They even threw a party out there for everybody. And then unfortunately, we had logging trucks that went out there and they did destroy parts of it that is either repaired or will be repaired for them. So we do want to take care of those things. All right, next item are the minutes from the July 25th, 2023, 6 p.m. regular meeting. If you guys have had time to read those, do I have a motion to accept? So move. Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. All right, no need for public hearing. The next item are for appointments. Item number 1, appointment to Kathy to fill an unexpired term that will end January 1st, 2024. Do any commissioners have anyone that they would like to report? If not, do I have a motion to take? Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor, motion carries. Item number 2, appointment to the Airport Authority, District 3 to fill an unexpired term that will end October 31st, 2024. Is that in the form of a motion? Yes. Have a motion, do I have a second to take? Motion and a second, all in favor, motion carries. Next, item number 3, appointment to the Planning Commission, District 3 to fill an unexpired term that will end January 5th, 2026. Mr. Jones? Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, motion carries. No unfinished business. Next item is new business. Item number 1, Baldwin and Jenkins audit report for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2022.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have Will Dervis with Malden Jenkins here this morning to bring the go over the report with you and answer any questions that you might have.
Good morning.
Will, come on in.
Morning, Commissioners. All right, so I believe you each have a copy of this auditor's discussion and analysis packet. That's where I'm going to be working off of, and I do my small presentation here to go over the results of the. Okay, so as Bill mentioned, my name is Will Dervis. I'm a senior manager with Malden and Jenkins. I've been working on county's audit since we took it over several years ago, and we're just going to go through a broad overview of the audit opinion, some of the basic results of the financial statements, other required communications that auditing standards specify. I must communicate to those charged with governance, and then maybe a few closing thoughts and any other items that are up for discussion. So working off of page 2, you can see some additional information and a broad overview of Malden and Jenkins. We have a large governmental practice, or primarily Southeast-based firm with 13 offices, which that number might have actually increased since we made this report. And government audits comprise about a third of our Atlanta practice. It's all I do 100% of the time, all year. Meredith Lipson, she's the engagement lead partner with over 30 years of experience. Myself, and then we have a quality control review partner who's based out of our Chattanooga office. Page 3, you can find some additional information on some of the other industries that we serve, some of the other services that we provide. But I'll jump in now onto page 4 to go over a few things that I need to communicate to you all. So our responsibility as external auditors is to express an opinion on financial statements based on our audit. We conducted our audit in accordance with standards accepted in the United States of America, general GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, as well as government auditing standards, which is specific to local governments in the US and state of Georgia. We do rely on another auditor for the report on the Meriwether Board of Health, and our opinion is related or is based solely off of the other auditor's report. I'm pleased to announce we've issued an unmodified report, which you can think of as a clean opinion for the most recent fiscal year in. And we also, government auditing standards also requires us to issue a report on consideration of internal control over financial reporting and some basic tests of compliance with certain provisions of laws, contracts, and regulations. So the county's basic statements you can think of as 3 different pieces: the government-wide financial statements, the fund level reporting for the county's individual funds, and then the notes that accompany the financial statements. So briefly, just to hit on some of the highlights of the government-wide level, which you can think of as the consolidated, broad, kind of 30,000 feet view of everything. County reports or reported approximately 39 million in assets, offset by about 5 million of liabilities, resulting in net position or equity about 33 million this past year. About half of that is invested in the county's capital assets, leaving about 15 million of or a little under 12 million of unrestricted net position, which is not encumbered in other areas or set aside for specific use. Moving on to page 6. So primary interest for the county is its general fund. It accounts for most of the operations of county's day-to-day, other than items and transactions that are required to be reported in other different types of funds. As you might expect, about 70% of general fund revenues are comprised of taxes, about 15% charges for services, and then just about 8% of intergovernmental revenues, consisting of federal and state grants, as well as other local contributions and other donations. Revenues for this past year were approximately 18 million, an increase of about $1 million from the prior year. On page 7, you can see some information on general fund expenditures. Public safety comprises about a third of all general fund related expenditures. The general government function is about a fourth, and then public works is about a fifth of that. And then there's a little bit left to pay for debt service, other capital outlays, and some of the other minor functions of the government. Expenditures for this past year, approximately 15 million, an increase from the prior year as well, which is consistent with an increase in revenue. We tend to see that that relationship. And the county's unrestricted balance in the general fund is about 63%, which is considered healthy by GFOA and other and the state of Georgia. That makes up about 40% of annual expenditures, give or take, which is a favorable number. So that's some good news. County maintains 8 special revenue funds, 3 capital projects fund, a governmental type blended component unit, which is its industrial development authority. And then this past year, we began reporting 1 additional proprietary or business type fund component unit, which is the airport authority. There are also 5 custodial funds or fiduciary funds, as you know, tax commissioner, sheriff, clerk of court, probate court, and magistrate. Page 8 discusses some of the footnotes and kind of what goes on in those. I like to think of them as the story behind some of the numbers that you see. You can see note 15, that refers to our change in reporting entity this past year to account for the airport authority and its operations. On page 10, some additional information. We issue a yellow book report, which is one of the required compliance reports of the county. That'll be issued every single year. There's also a single audit report this past year, which is our report on our tests of the county's compliance with laws and regulations pertaining to its major federal programs, which was related to its ARPA funding from this past year as well as the year before, I believe. And I'm pleased to say our tests disclosed no instances of non-compliance with the ARPA funding. Page 11 discusses some additional policies, judgments. Management is responsible for the judgments and accounting estimates that are inherent to the financial reporting of the county. Financial statement disclosures and some of the procedures we do to opine on those. Page 12, we make reference to any difficulties or disagreements we had with management, which we had none. We requested certain representations of management, and management provided those with no issue. We're not aware of any other consultations that management of the county had with other auditors or accountants pertaining to this specific audit. And we had no other significant issues or disagreements. We did have audit adjustments for the most recent fiscal year. I believe a copy of those is found on the back of the packet. If not, just feel free to contact me at any time and I can provide you copies of those. We had no past adjustments or uncorrected misstatements that would have been a potential error that would have been found in prior years. County also reports some additional supplementary information as well throughout the audit. Page 13, under recommendations and related matters, we do have a couple recommendations for improvement. Page 14 discloses two findings that we have and that we report. One pertaining to general segregation of duties issues within certain offices under the county, including the IDA, Water and Sewage Authority, some of the other parts of the custodial funds, as well as maybe some other departments. In general, that's a result of staffing limitations, and typically is characterized by someone's ability to record, say, a journal entry or some transaction without a separate approval or authorization. We also have a finding pertaining to just general matters and closeout procedures for the adjustments that we've posted throughout the funds of the county. That's on page 15. I will not go through each of those. Feel free to ask any specific questions that you might have. And then page 16, we have some additional recommendations for improvement. We call these management points or just management recommendations. They do not rise, they're minor in nature and don't rise to the level of a finding or a deficiency or material weakness, but they're just items that we've noted and accumulated during our test work for management's recommendation. And we believe the implementation of these suggestions will enhance county's financial reporting and its control environment and create a more effective process. That is pretty much all I have. Page 18 has some additional matters for management and the board's general thoughts, the future GASB pronouncements that are upcoming. GASB is our standard setting board for how we must account for different transactions of the county, and they keep us very busy. We had a major new pronouncement this past year that I don't think had much applicability to Meriwether County. The next upcoming one, it may or may not. So we just have to evaluate that each time they issue a new standard. And you can find information on the future upcoming projects as well. And then lastly, on I believe page 27, there's just some additional information on a new line of some other governmental advisory services, operational audits, and that type of thing, as well as IT cybersecurity services that we offer. So that's for your reading, and and enjoyment. So that's all I have for you today. Appreciate y'all taking the time to have me come and do this presentation. And I'm happy to take any questions that commissioners might have.
Well, thank you very much for coming. We do have a couple here. We got one that is out, a third new commissioner this year. So this is their first presentation for this type of service. So overall, it was a pretty good audit, is what you have stated. There are some things that we need to improve upon, and you gave those recommendations.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Do any commissioners have any questions? All right. Thank you very much, I guess. No.
All right.
Have a good day.
Roll Tide, Bill.
And we'll read that when we come to it. All right, next item under new business is to set a special call meeting on August the 11th, this Friday, 2023 at 10 a.m. for the purpose of interviewing for a new county administrator. Do I have a motion to set a special call meeting for August the 11th at 10 a.m.? So moved. Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, set public hearing August 22nd, 2023 at 6 p.m. to set the 2023 millage rate. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carried. Next item is request Board of Commissioners to designate the 4th Tuesday for conducting public hearings.
This will just be, something that will allow, Sandra to be able to advertise consistently what we've got in terms of, you guys have changed the, last week you did a motion, changed the, planning commission from the 4th budget to the 3rd budget. And, this will allow her to go which day for the, have the public hearing. And of course, it's one of those things that if something comes up, it's not a big deal. But we just felt it was good to have that, which you'll
Because we do have need for daytime when it is a time frame limit.
absolutely.
All right. Any commissioners have any questions? Do I have a motion to designate the 4th Tuesday, 6 p.m. meeting for conducting public hearings? So have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 5, request to allow staff to negotiate with qualified vendors for plumbing repair services at the county jail due to lack of response on RFPs.
Sure, commissioners, we sent out an RFP for plumbing repairs at the jail. We had a mandatory pre-bid meeting because we needed everybody to take a look at it, and unfortunately, we had no one to show for that. And so what we're asking is basically to if anybody produces a bid at this point, it's done the void. So we asked, we just be able to move away from the RFP process and identify, a couple of vendors and negotiate and bring back for the board's recommendations.
All right.
Can we clarify staff, who would actually be negotiating or talking with?
It would probably be myself and Bill Coffey. And then we would involve Lee.
I'd like to add that in. Doesn't need a problem.
So do I have a motion to allow staff pertaining to Theron Gate, Bill Cawthorn, and Lee from Public Works to negotiate with qualified vendors for plumbing repair services at the county jail? So have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 6, intergovernmental agreement between the city of Greenville, Meriwether County, and the Meriwether County Tax Commissioner regarding property tax collections. Deanne?
Good morning. I met with Mayor Glover and she would like for,
It doesn't look like she's muted, but we can't hear it. Hold on, Deanne. Go ahead, Deanne.
well,
We can hear you now. Go ahead.
oh, okay, good. I met with Mayor Glover and she would like for the tax commissioner's office to collect the city taxes going forward. I have sent the copy of the contract, which is the same contract I used last year with the city of Manchester and others that we're collecting for.
This is a three-party agreement between the county tax commissioner and the city of Greenville. And it allows for the collection of, the city would pay a fee for the service, and back to the county, it would be for back to tax. For the extra use. We've done this in several cities already.
All right, any commissioners have any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to allow the intergovernmental agreement between the city of Greenville, Meriwether County, and the Meriwether County Tax Commissioner regarding property tax collections, and allow the chair to sign? Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, Deanne.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a good day.
All right, next item is report from the county administrator.
Yes, sir. I'll go through quickly with everything we've got here. Since our last meeting, I met with a recreation group up in Lucasville. Participated in interviews for finance director. We're very happy to have John on board. Met with Hogansville about water and sewer. I had a second meeting with Hogansville about waste management, about some options on the road access. Let's look at the ambulance rebound. I met with the election board and Patty to review potential office space. Attended the bid over the water and sewer. Attended water and sewer meeting. Met with the engineer and the chairman of the airport authority to talk about their future projects. And there I met with department heads and constitutional officers to discuss what we could do to attract better applicants, more applicants, and also personnel retention. And what we'll do is we'll bring that back. I asked all of them to give us, 3 things that were most important. They that was most important for the employees. And so we'll compile all that and we'll get that back to you guys. And I know we're going to have to address that here in the not too distant future. Met with Sheriff Smith about office space, conducting the personnel hearing. Met with engineers of our new recreation department here on Laughlin Road. We'll bring that back along with the more information contract. What we do need to be thinking about, to this point, we just call that Greenville Recreation Department, recreation project. But I think that's led to a little bit of confusion. So if there's something you guys want to call that park, y'all think about that and let me know. And we'll get y'all to approve that, and we can just change the documents because we're in the review stage anyway. And there, had a conference call with IDA regarding industrial prospects. We completed 2 RFPs in water and sewer professional services, roads. I know Bill Kaufman has been out doing some surveying on Emmons Road. We've had a lot of road with the rain. The problem and bridge projects going. So we have a lot going on, but we're believing we really get the stuff moving forward. So I'll be glad to answer any questions I have or have questions after the
Any commissioners have any questions for Mr. Gay? Hearing none, we'll move to the next item, that is report from the county commission. Vice Chair King.
Good morning to everybody. I want to take my time this morning to address a situation that I think if we don't, somebody's going to be killed in this county on a bicycle. And what this is referring to is the cyclists or bicyclists, and the groups are growing larger and larger every weekend. I have nothing against cyclists. I got a lot of friends that do it. I got a lot of friends that do it competitively all over the nation. And I know why they come down to Meriwether County, because we have our backcountry roads. It's great scenery. It's the place to go. You got wildlife, you got plenty of woods. It's just a beautiful ride. And I welcome to Meriwether County. I don't know if what the law says, if we can adopt an ordinance, but this is the problem we're having. I've had this several times with me already, but you come around a curve and there's 40 bikes from the white line to the yellow line, 50 yards deep. I was pulling a trailer with equipment on it, and I had to go down the side of the road. I was in a work truck and trailer. I didn't mind doing it at that time. I came around the curve. In fact, it's on my video of my truck. I come around the curve the other day, and as soon as I came around the curve, like I said, it looked like a marathon you watch on TV. And they don't try to get off to the side. They don't try to make room. My concerns are, And I say this, I talked to another girl who has a horse trailer and it happened to her. If someone like my wife or myself or any of these horse people that come around a curve pulling $40,000-$50,000 horses are not going to slam on brakes and put them horses to the floor. That's sad to say, but I'm just telling you, we got cattle farmers down here pulling livestock trailers. We got logging trucks down here. We got a lot of equipment guys pulling the big low boys and the crack hose on them. Sooner or later, somebody's gonna come around a curve and there's a car coming, you have no place to go. And we're gonna have some cyclists that are gonna be down and hurt dramatically. And like I said, I have to say that if a cow man, and I haul cattle too, if you got a load of cows, you cannot slam on brakes. Some cows will go down and then you can't get them up, especially with the horses too. Because of someone ignorance or not wanting to respect our roads just in return. So I do welcome them to come here to ride Mayweather County. I think they should stay in a single file line. When I try to tell them you're supposed to be to the side and the state law says we're supposed to give you 3 foot, I usually get crowned or a bird shot at me or just ugliness about it. So I'm hoping we can adopt something that I can take to the cyclist shops in Peachtree City, Noonan, Sonoa, and maybe put it on, send it to their bicycle group associations. I want to make it clear, we welcome them to come Mayweather County. Maybe they'll come down here and see a spot they want to build a house and bring more people. That's fine. But if they don't start respecting this situation and realize that when they get down here, it's not always just that beautiful backcountry road with a couple of cars coming down it. It can be very dangerous. And after several phone calls and myself almost running over them, I realized then that it needs to be addressed before a life is taken on in this situation. And I don't really know the in and outs. I don't know if they can add something to it, but
it is a problem. It's a problem over here in several other counties too. And you know, we have these signs out in a lot of places that share the road. And what you find out is that while voters are sharing the road, sometimes the bicyclists are not sharing the road. They're just, you know, spreading out instead of riding, you know, one lane. You know, it is a problem. And there has been some instances of people injured because of that. And, so
well, they won't even, they got the little mirrors on the bike. They don't even see traffic and then all file off to the side and let you come around. I mean, when I'm going down to one of the hunt leases on my farm tractor, I'm constantly looking back, even though I have the right to triangle, and I'm a farm tractor guy. I have the right to be there, but as soon as I see someone behind me, I always try to get off the side and wave them around. Kind of everybody's in a hurry. I come off my road, Sullivan Mill Road, and turned on to Mount Carmel, and a group went past, and this little lady behind them, she's scared to go around them, so I had to follow them at a very slow pace all the way down Mount Carmel. I thought, okay, we'll get to the stop sign line, they will all kind of stop to the side and let us get around. They don't even stop for a stop sign. I guess the first you saw was clear, so they just all rolled right through it. So now I'm having to follow them out Line Creek Road. Finally, I got a chance to get around the side, and the same thing, I rolled my window down and said, you're not supposed to block our roads like this, you know, and they just get deal about it. But
let us see what we can do. We'll check and see if there's something that we can do. Others have done. I know with Coweta, they've actually painted some bike lanes on the side of the road, but you know, I don't know if people always hear that.
look, from what I found, like you said, share the road. They have the right to ride down the side of the road. Just like I can take my horse down the road if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna take them right down the middle of it and hold everybody up.
Right.
But they need to do that. But anyhow, I appreciate it. We'll take a look at that.
We'll
On the other hand, I'm so grateful this morning that we've had folks come in and speak in a letter, and it's just nice to hear positive things coming to this board. That shows that we all got a mind and heart set for Mayweather County, and that's a great thing to see that we're moving forward and getting things done. So I thank the staff and everybody that's been helping this work. It's not just us to get it done; it's our staff that gets it done. And I'm very appreciative of all the effort and work it does. It's appreciated, trust. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Tyler.
I just like to thank all the staff and employees for doing this. You're doing a good job. I'd also like to thank the sheriff department for helping us out on Coleman Creek Circle. And I guess we could get more out of DOT writing some tickets up there on the big trucks. And, that's about all I have.
Commissioner Plant?
I'm gonna keep mine brief and all, but as everyone's probably aware that we had personal tragedy that happened where our house was actually struck by lightning on July 30th at about 3 p.m. And I want to say this from a personal standpoint that between 911, the fire department, and just everyone coming out in force, it has been very humbling to realize that Meriwether County has stood by and been there for us on a very personal level. I just want to say thank you, and there's no way you can ever repay our debt of gratitude for everything that has been done, and the willingness not only of the staff that are paid, but the willingness of the unpaid volunteers. That goes a long ways. And it's the kind of thing you really don't forget. So thank you very much.
And we're all sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I know.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So yes, I'll reiterate everything that has been said from the other commissioners as well, but I have received a call on a speeding issue, on a hidden driveway issue on the Cove and Pebblebrook Road. The only thing, and I did discuss it with Mr. Gay, there continues to be a speeding issue through the 10.3 miles of Cove Road, even though it's one of our crookedest roads in the county. And there is, coming from the northern part toward the southern part, Pebblebrook Road juts off to a right, coming from the north part. And there is no way to make it have to turn to a 90-degree. It is a continuous, and there are complaints now on Pebblebrook Road. There's a restaurant at the golf course. There are a lot of citizens that live on the right-hand side across. They're walking across on Thursday and Friday nights to go and eat, so they don't have to get in their cars because they can just walk across the road. So the concern is that these individuals are speeding through the Cove Road straight onto Pebblebrook and have almost hit some of our older citizens that are trying to cross the road. So what I talked to Mr. Gay about, and I'm sure that the citizens on Cove Road probably will not appreciate it because of all the years it has been open, but it may come to a point to where we have to do a three-way stop at the Pebblebrook and Cove Road, meaning coming from the southern part on Cove Road at Pebblebrook with a stop sign. There's already a stop sign at Pebblebrook turning left or right for the Cove. And also probably having to put a stop sign on the part of Cove Road coming from north to south, just to slow these down. I don't know what the legal aspects are, but we need to do something to protect all the citizens there.
And what we would do is, if you'd like us to, we'll go back out, take a look at it, and kind of work up a little plan for the three-way stop, including advanced warning signs. We might double post them until people get used to being there.
Well, I think we need to put up, and I've seen in other counties, they have the LED lights around the stop signs.
Yeah.
They also have those on the stop ahead signs.
Right.
So I think putting those up there, because it is extremely dark going through the Cove at night. So if we put those up, it's not only going to help during the day, but it's also going to help bring that recognition to those. So I do think we probably need to put those solar LED signs in that particular area, because that Cove Road, like I said, has always been open. It's 10.3 miles. People that have lived there, it's going to take a while to get used to. And I think that lighted sign will be a quick reminder.
We'll work on that, and if you want to go ahead and install it, we'll just bring it back.
I mean, you tell us, you go out, do it, bring it back to us. You can call us individually and talk about it, and then we'll probably have to vote to make that happen.
Okay, we'll get that done. We'll have that.
Y'all okay with it?
Yeah, just go down the vote on it, they just get it done for us.
Yeah.
Well, I think they need to assess it and see what is.
Yeah, we'll check, make sure everything's works for that. I'm sure that it will. I know the intersection you're speaking of.
But they got quite a few of them over in Spalding County.
Yeah.
got a little solar thing on top and that it blinks through the red lights and it gets your attention on a dark road like that.
It does, you know, sometimes you just have to do that. You know, we got the bad intersection, you know, we put up in some four-way stop and it stopped a lot of problems with that.
But something does have to be done before someone gets hurt.
Yes. Okay, we'll work with that and get back.
Thank you very much. That is all that I have. Next item is report from the county attorney.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, one bit of good news. I think y'all may have been aware that you had a former tenant down at the airport had made a complaint to the Georgia Department of Transportation that the airport authority had wrongfully refused him a lease. We had to evict this individual for noncompliance with the rules. And so, you know, the GDOT investigates if there is a complaint, and it's a very thorough investigation.
Wow.
And we received word last week that there was a finding of no wrongdoing on the part of the airport authority. So please report that. And I thought that all along, but it's nice to have GDOT sign off on. So that's all I have, Commissioners.
Any need for executive session?
That would short, just personnel.
Oh, and one litigation.
All right. So the future meetings are August 22nd, 2023, regular meeting at 6 p.m. And also this Friday, it will be a special call meeting, August the 11th, 2023, starting at 10 a.m. for the purpose of hiring a county administrator or interviewing. Do I have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of litigation and personnel? So have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We are in executive session at 9:57 p.m. Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We're back in regular session at 10:19. No action was taken in executive session, but we do have further responsibilities now. So how do I need to do this? Do I just need to read the resolution?
I was pretty motion to pass resolution.
All right.
I will motion to add the agenda.
Do I have a motion to add order and resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Meriwether County, Georgia?
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. I will read the order and resolution. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Meriwether County, Georgia has determined to construct certain road improvement, which is part of the county road system of Meriwether County, known and designated as improvements to Beulah Evans Road. And whereas in order to maintain the projected schedule of road construction of the county, it is necessary that the right of way and other rights, if any, for the construction of said project be acquired without delay. And whereas the parcel of right of way and other rights as herein described and as listed below, shown of record as owned by the person named herein, all as described and shown in the attachments of this order to this order herein after enumerated. All of said attachments being by reference made a part of this order are essential for the construction of said project. Required right of way is lot 6, 0.056 plus acres and or 2,420 plus square feet. Required right of way. Fee title acquisition as shown on plans attached here too. Attachments are Appendix A-1. Owners, estate of Theodore A. Griffin, estate number 9374, Meriwether County probate. Estate of Ann Bailey Griffin, estate number 9477, Meriwether County probate, and Denise Lovett. Secured interest holder, none. Now therefore, it is found by the Board of Commissioners that the circumstances are such that it is necessary that the right-of-way, easements, and access rights, if any, as described in attachments to this order, be acquired by condemnation under the provisions of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated sections 32-3-4 through 32-3-19. And it is ordered and resolved that the Board of Commissioners, through the chairman and county attorney, proceed to acquire the title, the state of interest in the lands hereinafter described in attachments to this order and resolution by condemnation under the provisions of said code, and said county attorney and the county attorney is authorized and directed to file condemnation proceedings, including a declaration of taking to acquire said title, a state of interest in said lands, and to deposit in the court the sum estimated as just compensation, all in accordance with the provision of said code. It is further ordered and resolved that chairman of the board Commissioners is authorized to take all actions and sign all documents necessary to proceed with this condemnation. So ordered and resolved is lawfully assembled, open session this 9th day of August 2023. Do I have a motion to allow the chair to sign the order and resolution as stated? Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carried. Any other business to come before the board? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn? Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Adjourn.